Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we crack open your sources and pull out those absolute gold nuggets of insight.
Great to be diving in.
Today, we're diving headfirst into a question that has, it's echoed through millennia, hasn't it?
It really has. A big one.
Shaping lives and challenging every one of us to really look hard at what we value. It cuts straight to the core of our ambition, our pursuits, and perhaps our greatest fears. Okay, let's unpack this. Our central question today is, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul?
Yeah, and it's important to remember, this isn't just some abstract philosophical musing,
Exactly. This is a direct quote from Jesus himself, captured in 3 parallel passages across what we call the Synoptic Gospels. That's Matthew, Mark, and Luke.
Specifically, Matthew 16.26, Mark 8.36, and Luke 9.25.
Right. Our mission for you, our listener, is to truly grasp the biblical context of this incredibly pertinent statement, its profound meaning, and maybe most importantly, the urgent personal implications it has for your life right now.
What's truly striking about this question, I think, is how it immediately cuts through all the noise. It doesn't just ask about priorities, it challenges our very definition of success and worth.
It's a profound, almost startling challenge, isn't it? To our deepest motivations.
Definitely. And as our source highlights, Luke's version even adds an extra layer, talking about losing or forfeiting himself, which subtly pushes us to consider what it means to lose our true identity.
That's a fascinating nuance, this idea of losing yourself. To truly appreciate the weight of this, let's look at the exact wording from the English Standard Version, the ESV, which is a popular modern translation as provided in our source material.
Good idea.
Matthew 16.26 asks, "For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?"
And Mark 8.36 is very concise. "For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul?"
And then Luke 9.25, as you just pointed out, shifts it slightly. "For what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses or forfeits himself?" I found this next part in our source absolutely eye-opening. This isn't just a random philosophical question Jesus asks. It's actually placed in a really specific, kind of high-drama moment in his ministry.
Oh, absolutely.
It totally reframed it for me. Here's where it gets really interesting.
Indeed. The context is absolutely crucial for understanding the sheer weight of these words.
Yeah.
Our source reveals that all 3 passages, despite their slight wording differences, occur in the exact same pivotal narrative.
Okay, so what's happening right before he asks this?
Well, imagine the scene. Just moments before, Peter has made his famous declaration, recognizing Jesus as the Christ, the Son of the living God. It's this huge revelation.
Right, a massive moment.
Immediately after this, Jesus starts talking about something completely unexpected and, frankly, shocking to his disciples.
Sure.
His own suffering, death, and resurrection.
Which they weren't expecting at all.
Not at all. And Peter, bless his heart, he objects so vehemently that Jesus delivers this incredibly stern rebuke, telling him, "Get behind me, Satan."
Wow. Okay. Intense.
Very intense. And it's right after this dramatic sequence, after Jesus has just called his followers to radical discipleship, talking about denying oneself and taking up one's cross.
That's when this question comes.
That's exactly when it comes. It's not an abstract thought experiment. This isn't theoretical. Our source shows it's a direct call to decision in a moment of incredibly high stakes.
So what did he say right before?
He tells his disciples in Matthew 16.24-25, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it."
Ah, okay.
And this immediately prefaces the question about gaining the world. It tells us Jesus isn't just talking about abstract success versus spiritual failure.
He's talking practically.
Yes, practically about the ultimate existential choice every single person faces. Follow him with all the costs involved, or chase after what the world offers.
Wow, that really changes everything. It's not a standalone proverb or some casual ethical dilemma.
Not at all.
It's tied directly to the intense personal cost of following Jesus. It makes it feel incredibly urgent.
Precisely.
So this idea of gaining the whole world sounds so tempting, doesn't it? It's easy to think of it just as money, but what does our source really unpack when it talks about ultimate earthly acquisition?
Yeah, that's a great question because it's broader than we often think.
Are we often chasing things we think are the whole world, but this material defines it much more broadly?
You're absolutely right. Our analysis reveals that gaining the whole world isn't just about accumulating wealth. It's a surprisingly, almost shockingly, all-encompassing pursuit of everything temporary.
Okay. Like what specifically?
Well, it covers material wealth and possessions,
Mhm.
yes, that relentless accumulation of earthly riches, but it also includes power and influence, whether that's political, social, or economic control.
Right.
It speaks to fame and recognition, the insatiable pursuit of human praise and worldly honor.
Okay, so stuff we see people chasing all the time.
All the time. Beyond that, it covers pleasure and comfort, basically the fulfillment of every fleshly desire, and critically, self-preservation,
Self-preservation. How does that fit?
that deep-seated desire to avoid suffering, persecution, or any form of sacrifice for a greater cause.
Mm,
Just wanting an easy life, essentially.
got it.
And finally, it refers to temporal security, trusting in things that are temporary rather than eternal, building our lives on foundations that simply won't last.
Hmm.
The phrase, the whole world, is deliberately hyperbolic here, emphasizing the totality of what this transient world can offer. Even if someone could somehow possess everything the world has to give,
Even everything.
even everything, it would still be utterly insufficient in the grand scheme. It's a stark reminder, isn't it? How many things we prioritize daily might fall squarely into that gaining the world bucket without us even realizing the ultimate cost.
It's almost like winning every lottery, becoming king of the world, having everyone send you fan mail, and our source still says, nope, not enough.
Exactly. That really puts it in perspective.
Now, on the flip side of that powerful equation, what does it truly mean to lose your soul? And for someone who might not immediately grasp the full weight of that, how does our source expand on that idea of losing one's true self, like Luke's version puts it?
That Luke passage is particularly telling, isn't it? The concept of losing one's soul in the biblical context is far, far more profound than simply physical death.
Right.
Our material defines it first and foremost as spiritual death, which signifies a complete eternal separation from God.
Okay. Separation.
That's about forfeiting eternal life, missing the very purpose for which we were created. And as you highlighted with Luke 9.25, it means losing one's true self, the complete loss of our authentic identity, the person we were made to be in relationship with God.
Losing who you were meant to be. Wow.
Yeah. This also leads to eternal judgment, facing God's wrath rather than his mercy, and ultimately missing God's kingdom, being excluded from eternal fellowship with him.
And Matthew adds that other question too.
That's right. What's also incredibly powerful is Matthew's second question, or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
What does that highlight for us?
Well, it emphasizes several critical points. It highlights that the soul is invaluable. There is no earthly treasure, no amount of wealth, power, or fame that can ever equal its worth.
Cannot be bought.
Cannot be bought. The exchange is utterly irreversible. Once lost, the soul cannot be bought back. And finally, the choice is final. The analysis makes it clear that there is no second chance after death to reverse this ultimate forfeiture.
No do-overs.
No do-overs. Nothing in creation, no matter how glorious or vast, can substitute for the soul's relationship with God. It's the ultimate zero-sum game with eternal stakes.
That really underscores the gravity of the decision Jesus is presenting. It's not just about a temporary setback or a bad investment.
Not even close.
It's about an irreversible, eternal consequence that has no earthly equivalent for exchange. So if we take all this in, what does this fundamental choice mean for us right now, today? What's the core message God is delivering here, according to our deep dive?
Well, at its core, God's message through these passages presents humanity with a stark, undeniable choice, a fundamental choice.
Okay, what is it?
We can either pursue the temporal, which means seeking what this world offers, its fleeting wealth, its hollow power, its momentary pleasures, its deceptive comfort, or we can pursue the eternal, which means seeking God's kingdom and his righteousness above all else.
So world or God, basically.
In essence, yes. And what's truly paradoxical, a divine inversion of worldly wisdom, is what Jesus reveals here. Those who seek to gain the world, prioritizing these temporary things, will ultimately lose everything that genuinely matters.
Lose it all in the end.
Right. Conversely, those who lose their life for Christ's sake, those who surrender their worldly ambitions and self-preservation for him, will actually find true, everlasting life.
So it's not just about stuff, about possessions.
Not merely about owning physical possessions, no. It's about the fundamental orientation of one's heart and the ultimate allegiance of one's entire life. It establishes a completely different value system from what the world typically embraces.
How so? What's different about God's value system?
Well, God's kingdom prioritizes the eternal over the temporal, recognizing that what lasts forever is infinitely more valuable than what is fleeting.
Makes sense.
It values the spiritual over the material, asserting that the soul's condition matters far more than physical circumstances or external appearances. It promotes service over self, teaching that denying oneself and serving God brings true fulfillment.
Service over self.
And it embraces sacrifice over comfort, showing that taking up one's cross and enduring hardship ultimately leads to resurrection life and eternal reward. It's a total flip of the script that society often tries to hand us.
That's a complete inversion of how the world often tells us to live, isn't it? It really challenges our default settings, the ingrained assumptions we make about success and happiness.
Absolutely challenges them.
This deep dive offers some incredibly important takeaways that can truly reshape our perspective, challenging us to look beyond the immediate. Let's dig into some of the key insights our source provides. For you, the listener, the question, what does it profit you, is intensely personal.
It really is. And when we synthesize the core message from all our material, several actionable takeaways emerge that should really stick with you.
Okay, let's hear them.
Firstly, the soul is infinitely valuable. Our deepest insights confirm its worth is beyond measure, created in God's image, and cannot be measured by earthly standards. No worldly success, no matter how grand, can ever compensate for its loss.
Invaluable. Got it.
Secondly, worldly gain is ultimately empty. Every single thing this world offers, all the wave, power, fame, pleasure we discussed, is temporary. It cannot satisfy our deepest human needs because these things will pass away. But our soul is eternal.
Temporary versus eternal.
Exactly. Thirdly, and critically, the choice is urgent and personal. Every single person must make this choice. It cannot be delayed indefinitely, and no one else can make it for us. It's on you.
Urgent and personal. Okay.
Fourth, true life comes through surrender. This is the profound paradox. The pathway to finding genuine life is counterintuitive. It comes through losing one's life for Christ's sake, which means surrendering our will and plans to God's purposes, trusting Him implicitly.
The paradox of losing to find.
Precisely. Fifth, the exchange is impossible. We touched on this, but it bears repeating. Once the soul is lost, there's nothing that can buy it back. No amount of wealth, no good works, no human effort can restore what has been forfeited through rejecting Christ.
Irreversible.
Irreversible. Sixth, discipleship requires sacrifice. Following Jesus isn't, a walk in the park. It involves taking up one's cross, being willing to suffer, sacrifice, and even die for the sake of the gospel. This isn't an optional add-on for true disciples.
Sacrifice is part of the deal.
It is. And finally, an eternal perspective changes everything. When we truly view life from an eternal lens, our priorities shift dramatically. What seems important to the world becomes insignificant, and what the world often ignores becomes supremely important.
Changes everything. And does the source give practical steps?
It does. Our material also gives us practical applications. For those who already believe, it means examining priorities, investing in eternity, and actively resisting worldly temptations. Check yourself, basically.
Okay. And for others?
And for those still considering, it's about seriously evaluating your pursuits, recognizing your need, and responding to Christ's invitation. It's a call to honest self-assessment for everyone.
What an illuminating deep dive into a question that is as relevant today, maybe more relevant than it was 2,000 years ago. It truly forces us to examine our own lives, our ambitions, and the silent exchanges we might be making without even realizing it.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, God, through these passages, really reveals His incredible heart. He isn't trying to deprive us of joy or legitimate success. Quite the opposite.
What's He trying to do then?
He's trying to save us from the ultimate tragedy, gaining everything the world offers while losing our very souls. God's profound love is demonstrated in His clear warning, much like a loving parent who sees danger and wants to protect their child from a devastating, irreversible mistake.
A warning out of love.
Exactly. He offers us something infinitely better than anything the world can provide: eternal life, true purpose, and unshakable fellowship with Him forever.
The question Jesus poses isn't merely rhetorical. It demands an answer from every human heart. What will you choose? Will you chase the world and forfeit your soul? Or will you lose your life for Christ's sake and find the true life you were made for?
That's the question.
The choice is yours, but the consequences, as our deep dive reminds us, are eternal. We truly encourage you to continue pondering this profound choice long after this deep dive concludes. It's a question that deserves an answer. Thank you for joining us on this profound exploration of what truly matters.